Okay, so, hi, hello, welcome back to another Creepypasta story video. Today Creepypasta I'm going to bring is called Banchō Sarayashiki, but before I get to it, I do want to say a few things. First off, the video is one take, so if you hear me stumble, mumble, fumble, mess up my words, I'm sorry, this is one take. And second thing I do want to say, please consider using code GOONS at GamerSubs.gg, that's code GOONS, and you can use that to get 10% off at checkout. Okay, so outside that, let's get into it. This Creepypasta is called Banchō Sarayashiki, and if I'm saying this wrong, I'm sorry, but let's get into it. The Sengoku, or the Warring States period in Japan, was a time of great social upheaval and political intrigue. It was during the Onin War, which was 1467 to 1477, that Oyama Tansan, the chief retainer of Kotaro Norimoto, lord of magnificent Himeji Castle, plotted intrigue against the lordship. No one would have suspected if Okyu, one of Oyama's young maids, had not overheard him discussing his plans with his followers, Jonatsubo Jensuro. For Lord Kotaro held him in high esteem, and had given him a fine mansion with the castle walls and set of priceless porcelain dishes from the Haibei province. Oyama was very pleased with his spacious mansion. He was especially impressed with its protective wooden walls, which, like impregnable castle, were covered with white plaster for fire protection. He also treasured his new set of dishes, which immediately became a valued family heirloom, and declared so precious that anyone who broke one risked being put to death. Smitten by the beauty of Okiko, he entrusted the dishes for her safekeeping, which she locked in silk-lined wooden chests. He hoped that by honoring her with this trust, he will win her affection. There were 10 dishes in the set, 3 cups, 3 saucers, 3 plates, and a teapot. They were made of the most delicate, translucent, snow-white porcelain she had ever seen before. Okiko was indeed honored by Oyama's gesture, but she was not sure of her new master's intentions. He was a famous samurai after all, and far above her station, what could he possibly want with her, other than a fleeting romance? So she steadfastly refused his advances. Besides, she was already secretly betrothed to the handsome young samurai Kingusa Matanabu. They met every night by the castle's main well while everyone else slept, and there they pledged their love for one another in the light of the moon god Tsukiyomi no Mikoto. When she overheard Oyama plotting against Lord Norimoto, she knew in her heart that she was right to have refused him. That night by the well, she told Kinosaga Ayomi's plans. He vowed to seek an audience with Lord Norimoto. Unfortunately for the young lovers, Oyama's mother had followed Okiko to see where she was sneaking about the castle in the dark. She scurried back to the mansion and told her son what she had heard and seen. Burning with jealousy and furious that a mere maid would dare defy him, he ordered his mother to remove one of the dishes from Okiko's chest without her knowledge. Terrified for her own life, the old woman bowed herself out the door. When she was outside, she relaxed her guard and cackled to herself over how simple a task it will be, as the female head of the household, to steal a dish from one of her maids. Having seen to the maid's demise, Oyama sent his faithful follower, Jonosubo, and instructed him to keep Kinugasa too busy to report to Lord Norimoto, and, if possible, he was to discreetly arrange for him to have a fatal accident. Once his plans were set into motion, he asked to see the dishes. To Akiko's horror, the teapot was missing. Devastated by her own carelessness, the young maid ran out of the castle and wept by the well. She knew the price she would have to pay for losing or breaking one of the mansion's priceless dishes was death. After 3 days and nights of letting Okiko suffer fear of death and loss for her lover's company, Oyama went to her and offered to forgive her if she would become his lover, knowing that her life would be forfeit if she refused him this time. She threw herself into the well and drowned. In the afterlife, she lived in the well and wandered restlessly throughout the mansion, clothed in her white burial kimono. When she learned of Oyama's deception, she became vengeful. Her apparition appeared in the early hours of the morning and hovered over his sleeping form. Then she woke him up by slowly counting to 9 and shrieking in the most hideous voice, "Where is my teapot, Oyama?" She continued to torment the samurai in this way for months, until he became so wan and thin from the lack of food and sleep that he could barely walk, let alone lift his sword. Racked with guilt over her hand and her son's misery, his mother devised a plan. She hid behind the screen in his bedroom and waited for Akiko's nightly visitation. When the ghost counted to 9, she jumped out and yelled, 10. Akiko was so startled by the rude interruption, her mouth snapped shut and she could not open it to shriek. Frustrated, she shook her fist and glared at Ayoma, but the old woman stood in front of him and glared back. Go back to your well and stay there, Okiko, she commanded. Just look at the poor Ayoma. He's not half the man he used to be, and now he's roaming around like one of the living dead. You had your revenge. Leave us in peace. Okiko listened and nodded, but she was not quite satisfied. She needed one final symbolic act of revenge. She snatched the precious porcelain teapot and disappeared back into the well. From that night forward, her sad voice could be heard counting to 9. The locals whispered that if you linger by the well under a full moon long enough to hear her shriek, you will age 9 years and go mad. Many years later, Okiko was enshrined in the city as the goddess of Junisho Shrine. Okay, so hopefully y'all enjoy hopefully you enjoy the creepypasta, or more like a tale. Actually, more like a Japanese folklore. So hopefully y'all enjoy this. I don't know how true this is, and I do apologize if I butcher the names of the Japanese names. I don't. First off, I don't know Japanese. Second thing, I did the best I could, but by just like how I can read it. So yeah, but I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you. Also, if you're wondering why I look like this, this is being recorded in December, and this will be posted, I think, closer to Christmas, because it will be kind of weird. Well, I don't know. I mean, my video has been all over the place. I do have one in this rec room, one where it's my V2 model, so I don't know. That's like, I don't know. But hopefully y'all enjoy this little creepypasta, or this little Japanese folklore, and yeah. But I do just want to say, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.